so I will not enforce it.
For the first time in a long time, we have people sitting down and paying attention to the Electoral College.
The sand from tsunami it comes and goes, and this is a place where it went.
And I just was looking at it thinking to myself, what in the world could have slaughtered all these bees? What the heck happened?
We don't really know what the ultimate impact could be on honeybees in our state or our country, but we're not going to take the risk, especially because we know it will kill hives.
During the 1960s, 70s, or 80s, anything having to do with arts here in Western Washington involved John and Ann Gould Hallberg. So along comes a young man named Dale Chihuly in 1971, and he has a new medium for arts. It's called glass arts. And he wants to develop a kiln and teach students and learn himself even more about how to do art through glass. John said, why don't we locate it on our tree farm up in Skagit and Snohomish County, the Pilchuck Tree Farm. And the Pilchuck Glass School was born. As a kid, I had the pleasure of working for John Hallberg sometimes during my college years. And we came here once, and the foundations were being poured for this glass school. And I said to him, Mr. Hallberg, what are you building? And he said, I'm going to build a place for glass artistry to begin. And that's exactly what's happened here. Not only Mr. Chihuly, but hundreds and hundreds of others have come through this school, taught here, learned here, and taken glass art all over the world. It's a beautiful location, and it truly is one of my favorite places. The history of our state really has a lot of boom and bust stories, especially about mining. In the late 1800s, prospectors scattered all over Washington state, every river and creek and valley, looking for gold, looking for silver. This is one of those locations here in Bodie, Washington, way up near the Canadian border on the eastern side of our state. You have to wonder when you walk into a town like this, who built these buildings? Who lived here? What was their story and where'd they end up? Just from what remains today, you know it must have been an exciting life. Over $1 million in gold was taken out of this town in this one mine. And the people here say that the creeks still run color, meaning they believe that there's still valuable gold hidden in these hills. Ghost towns are always interesting places, and this is just one of the ghost towns in our state. This one is one of my favorite places.
Check, 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 check.
We're waiting for you, sir. Good morning, everyone.
We'll help get this crowd under control.
Good morning. We're going to begin. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to thank you for joining us on this special day. The North Spokane Corridor is a transformative multimodal project that we, in collaboration with the Spokane community, have dedicated decades to completing. Throughout my 38-year career at WSDOT, this project has remained a steadfast priority. And now, after years of collective hard work, the final connection of this 10.5-mile corridor is within reach. My name is Shara Kay, and I serve as the Regional Administrator for Washington State Department of Transportation Eastern Region, based here in Spokane. This morning, it is my distinct honor to serve as your MC for such a special occasion and a special visit by our Governor, Governor Ferguson. And also among us are many, many dignitaries, some of which are present, some of whom are not, but I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our state elected officials. And so at this time, I will acknowledge Congressman Michael Baumgardner, who's represented by Andrew Walls, Senator Patty Murray, represented by Lisette Garb, Senator Marcus Riccelli, Representative Natasha Hill from District 3, also Senator Representative Riccelli from District 3, Representative from District 3, Tim Ormsby, Senator Jeff Holy from District 6. Thank you. Representative Mike Voles from District 6. Representative Jenny Graham from District 6. Senator Leonard Christian from District 4. Representative Suzanne Schmidt from District 4. Representative Rob Chase from District 4. Spokane County Commissioner Board Chair Mary Cooney. Spokane Commissioner Al French. Spokane County Commissioner Chris Jordan. Spokane County Commissioner Josh Kearns. Spokane County Commissioner Amber Waldriff. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown. City Council President Betsy Wilkerson, and AGC Cheryl Stewart. Let's give them all a hand of applause. Thank you, sir. So before we proceed, I'd like to take a moment for a quick safety briefing. In the event of an emergency, Larry Larson, Larry, will you raise your hand? Our ARA for project development will serve as, will contact 911 for us, and Alex Prozek, yes, she's the project engineer for this segment of the NSC, has an AED on site in the event that it's needed. A big thank you to both of you for volunteering for that. Now, let us take a moment to recognize, accept, and acknowledge we are on the ancestral homelands of the Spokane, Kalispel, Coeur d'Alene, Yakima tribes, and all tribes lost to colonization. As the original stewards of this region, they foster a legacy of environmental reciprocity. We hope to continue this legacy through minimizing our environmental impact, preserving nature, and the integrity of sacred tribal lands. We thank our tribal partners for the continued relationships and partnership over the years. In the native Salish language, Spokane means children of the sun. And the trail associated with this project is named the Children of the Sun to further connect communities and pay homage to the history of the region. Today we gather to celebrate the remarkable progress of the North Spokane Corridor. And just behind me, construction is actively advancing on the Spokane River crossing, thanks to Alex and her team, which is scheduled for completion by the end of this year. Next, we will continue to move closer to I-90 as we begin to construct the next phase, bringing to completion the long envisioned project, making sure that it is even more closer to a reality. It's a truly exciting time to reflect on how far we've come since breaking ground. How many years ago? 24 years ago, we broke ground back in 2001, and the phenomenal collaboration that has brought us to this milestone. And while we have often heard that we'll never finish this, I'm here to say that we are going to finish the work we started. The vision set in motion years ago was to establish a regional corridor that would enhance Spokane's connection to northern destinations and also efficiently redirect freight trips from the local city streets to a dedicated regional route. While the initial objective was to improve travel connections, the most meaningful connection that's near and dear to my heart that has emerged over the years is the one we share with all of you, the community. local agency partners, state and federal stakeholders. This project would not have been possible without your continued support and recognition of its significance to the city, the region, and the state. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest, a very renowned guest, our governor, the governor of the state of Washington. Governor Ferguson is a fourth-generation Washingtonian, and while he and his family now reside in Olympia, he once called this area home, and he began his legal career right here in Spokane. I also learned that Governor Ferguson is an enthusiastic mountain climber and a backpacker, and has hiked hundreds of miles of Washington trails. Well, maybe, Governor Ferguson, you can hike a few more right here on our own North Spokane Children of the Sun Trail on future visits. Please join me in welcoming our Washington's 24th governor, Governor Bob Ferguson.
Thanks, Shar. Thank you so much, Shar, and it's a great day to be in Spokane, and great to see all of you. The Fergusons are having a big Spokane Day, Shar, because my twins, Jack and Katie, are currently visiting the Gonzaga campus right now. So they're going to be seniors in high school. So who knows, Mayor, right? They may be coming here. So the goal is to get them graduated, maybe from Gonzaga, and get this project finished at the same time. That'll be the goal. First, if we can just give a big round of applause for everybody who's worked so hard for so long to get this project where it is right now. Give a big round of applause to everybody. Many of you are here right now. I know that it's been a project long in the conception and long in the making. But the good news is the end is now in sight. And what I want to really focus on is in this budget that we just concluded with the state legislature, working in a bipartisan fashion, showing that folks can work together to get things done. The legislature came together. We adopted a budget that invests another $250 million into this project. And what that means is the final 3 phases for completion of this critical project are now funded. That's in the budget, and that's a landmark for us. So that's a huge step forward for us. Our job is now, to set our course, to stay on pace, to meet that 2030 deadline. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. But this is a big moment to get the fully funded budget in place. And I just appreciate the hard work of folks who have made this happen. You know the benefits of this project. You'll hear others speak about that. But for advancing regional growth, for stimulating our economy, for making life just a little bit better for people in Spokane, all of those benefits and many others are core to this project. And I was talking to some folks earlier today. I remember when I was a new attorney general and I was in Spokane, come back to Spokane for a visit, and I was in a taxi or an Uber, and I remember the guy behind the wheel, we were driving to downtown, and he asked me about this project. He asked me, is this project going to get done? And so it's an honor to be here in a new role as governor to celebrate this day, understand there's still years ahead of us to complete the project, but I so appreciate the hard work of everyone to make this happen. We're going to get this done, and I just want to say that my goal as governor is to be here for the next big event right here, which is going to be the ribbon cutting. We're going to be here together for that, everybody. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Governor Ferguson. We're very grateful for the support of your support of this project and look forward to hosting you again as it advances. Our next speaker started working at WSDOT in 1989 and has spent her entire professional career at the agency here at WSDOT. She started as a transportation technician too, working on various projects and programs, but she is no stranger to a mega project such as this. In 2018, she was named Deputy Assistant Secretary of Mega Projects and has been instrumental in delivering some of the nation's most complex, high-profile transportation projects. Recently, in 2025, she was appointed by Governor Ferguson to serve as our next Secretary of Transportation. Please help welcome my secretary, our secretary, Julie Meredith.
I'd like to thank everybody for the warm welcome in more ways than one today. My name is Julie Meredith, and I'm the new Secretary of Transportation. As you heard, I started my post in January, so it's a fairly new role, but I have spent my entire year here working for the agency, for the department, and this is my first time in Spokane wearing this new role in the position. And let me tell you, even though my career has been primarily on the west side, I have heard and learned a lot about this project throughout my career. And the one word that I hear most often about the North Spokane Corridor is community. And you can see it through the aspects of the project. I really enjoyed the iconic sunburst located on each bridge of the project along the Children of the Sun Trail. The sunburst, developed in collaboration with the Spokane tribe, showcases our partnership and connection through Spokane's history and to the people who have long lived here. Elements of art and connection to the community are seen throughout the project. The trains imprinted on the concrete at Hilliard, the wild horse designs under the bridge entering the Minnehaha neighborhood, the red band trout featured on the structure at Spokane Community College. Community is showcased up and down the corridor with more to come, and I'd like to acknowledge the Spokane Arts and Karen Mobley for her past contributions to this, and Ronaldo Gil Zambrano, you can see his art over there, who is putting the finishing touches on the elements to be included in the future projects. I'd like to highlight the Children of the Sun Trail, an important key project component. The multimodal facility shared use path extends the length of the Spokane Corridor. Last year, the ribbon cutting that extended the trail to just a few blocks from north of here, and later this year, the trail connecting to the Centennial and Tuffy's Trail on the north and south side of the Spokane River will be complete. And work is underway just behind us, as you heard, to construct a trail-separated pedestrian structure. So a lot of underway work. And all of this is the result of extensive community engagement and work with you. And none of this would be possible without the continued community support for this work at the city, state, and even, as you heard today, the statewide level. Like others, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge those of you here today who continue to advocate for this project. First of all, nothing would be possible without the public support, and we know it's been a while since we started this project, but we are here to finish what we started. So thanks to the public for their support. Thanks to Governor Ferguson for being here today and making it a priority for the state and Eastern Washington and the people that it serves. I'd like to thank the representatives that you heard are here today from the House and the Senate, from the 3rd, 4th, and 6th legislative districts. We really appreciate your prioritization. We have elected officials across the city. As you heard, Spokane mayors here, Spokane County commissioners are here. Spokane Valley is well represented with all of your attendance, and without your support, we would not be here today talking about this. So many have touched the aspects of this project going forward, but lastly, in my new role, I'd like to thank WSDOT's Eastern Region crews that have gotten this project to where it is. The North Spokane Corridor Project Office is working tirelessly on design, the planning team doing the outreach, our real estate team bringing this to fruition, the project engineering construction offices that have constructed the project, working with our contractors, and to so many of you at WSDOT who touched this project over the years, a heartfelt thank you. And I know what it takes to deliver a mega project, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So thanks for that. This project reaches far beyond Spokane with its legacy, and I know it will leave a lasting impact on the community for generations to come. And as I stated at the beginning, my time in this role has been short, but I'm excited for the chance to visit this project and learn more about the community efforts. And as Shar said, let's get this work done.
Secretary Meredith, thank you for your leadership and sharing this special moment with us. I also would like to recognize Deputy Secretary Mike Ribner and our Assistant Secretary for Region, Todd Trepanier. Thank you both for being here today. This project would not have reached this stage without the steadfast support of our state legislators, who have long been champions of this project. Year after year, they have advocated for this vital regional asset, ensuring its progress through sustained funding and unwavering commitment during each legislative session. Their dedication has been instrumental in bringing us to this moment. Senator Riccelli, one of Spokane's newest senators, was born and raised in Spokane, a graduate of Gonzaga University. He has been a strong advocate for the North Spokane Corridor, often emphasizing its positive economic impacts and employment opportunities. Elected as state representative in 2012, where he served 12 years until being elected to the state Senate this past year. Please welcome from the 3rd Legislative District, Senator Marcus Riccelli.
2012 when I was elected, when I had hair that could actually blow in this wind. But hey, first I want to thank the community for being here, and thank you, Governor Ferguson. As you can see, this community shows up for this project, but we appreciate you showing up and your steadfast commitment in this role that you have as our executive. Today's another marker as we have worked to do all kinds of things, stave off potential threats to funding, but the bottom line is to finish what we started, and that sounds nice. Our community is scrappy. We're unabashed advocates to ensure our fair share of infrastructure investments, and we'll continue to collectively muscle this project through to completion with the resources, trained workforce, and the political will that you see up here today. The North Spokane Corridor means significant economic development, good jobs, less pollution, less travel time. I'm mostly excited that it will mean connectivity for thousands of people to education, access to jobs, health care, and a safer and quicker and less congested north-south route that connects to I-90 that will not only pay for itself in economic impact. As a reminder, I know we all know this, but the work on the NSC creates more jobs for our economy with every dollar spent, but also benefit our state, again, with reduced travel time to get people home to dinner sooner for family time, kids to soccer practice so Coach Marcus can have a full squad and for the practice planning he did. This generational project's time has come. Again, in 2012, first running for office, I listed the completion of the North Spokane Corridor as one of my top 5 priorities. And this was prior to my daughter Bryn being born, and kind of on the similar theme to Governor Ferguson. Finishing what we started means that my daughter would be able to drive as she graduated high school, and we're on track to do that. So for me, that means we can finally deliver on a generational promise fulfilled to Spokane. I thank you all. I really appreciate the collaboration in the legislature. A special shout out, Senator Holy, for your courage to make sure that we got the funding and joining, and the partnership with Senator Christian and Representative Schmidt. Appreciate it, and all of our delegation. And again, thank you. This is a great day. Let's keep it going.
Thank you, Senator Riccelli. Next, I'd like to welcome Senator Leonard Christian, also a Spokane native who obtained his MBA from Webster University and retired from the military service in 2005 after a distinguished career. And we thank you for your service. He was elected to the Senate this year and serves on the Senate Transportation Committee. Well, please welcome from the 4th District, Senator Leonard Christian.
Well, thank you so much. My family moved here shortly after the World's Fair in 1974, and I remember talking about the freeway back then as a kid. This seemed to be the topic of what would change Spokane's landscape. And, of course, now it's still being talked about. And as I've watched projects being completed on the west side of the state, was one of the reasons I decided to run for office, was to continue to fight for this north-south freeway, because this freeway will change our community. It'll absolutely open up more land, residential communities up north, which will change our community. It will add the trucks that are on our roads right now and our city streets that are causing destruction of our city streets, they'll be put on a concrete freeway that's designed to carry the weight. So when I was elected to the Senate, the number one ask was to be on transportation to make this freeway happen. I do want to appreciate so much Governor Ferguson making the time to come over here and see this so that Spokane can show how important this freeway is to us. But I really want to thank the folks today of Spokane. Without your continued support, without your encouragement continually, the pressure you've put on the legislature, on the state of Olympia, the city of Olympia, where decisions are made, you've made it really clear that this freeway is important to the people of Spokane. I encourage you to continue that, and I encourage you to continue to make that a message every time you speak to your legislators that this freeway needs to be done, and needs to be done right away, so that I can join the governor in a ribbon-cutting ceremony here to make our community great. Thank you for coming out today, and thank you, Governor Ferguson.
Thank you, Senator Christian. Last but surely not least, Senator Jeff Holy. He's lived in Spokane for over 40 years, a Wazoo grad, go Cougs. I have a son there that graduated there, and served in both the Army and Army National Guard. Senator Holy had a 22-year career with the Spokane Police Department, and during his time went to Gonzaga Law School before practicing law for over 30 years. He has served the 6th Legislative District since 2013 and is also a member of the Senate Transportation Committee. Please welcome Senator Jeff Holy.
Well, good morning. I'm the one who got the memo that it's supposed to be Spokane semi-formal just today. I missed it. Yeah, can I please? This is a long time coming. When I go back in the history books, I'll go back about 75 years, and conversations were being had about the future needs of Washington. I'm talking about things like 520. 405, 167, and the North-South Corridor. And finally, our time is coming to where this is going to come to fruition. This is just half amazing that this is happening this time. To Governor Ferguson's point, yes, I'm on the Transportation Committee in the Senate. That's my world, the Senate these days. Although Senator Riccelli and I actually started out together in the House 2012 when we first got elected. And he made a point to call me out on this. I want to say that's an absolute indicator what an absolute bipartisan, non-political, just a non-policy issue this is. This is something that's a matter of necessity that this whole region, Democrat, Republican, all work together hand in hand on, period. And it's been that way. When you talk about how long it's taken, this specific budget cycle has been a bit of a problem. Transportation Committee is one thing. I also spent a couple years in the Budget Cabinet, which is 4 of us in staff sitting in a room at 11 o'clock at night, line item running through the budget. And this is no competition for dollars like usually occurs in prioritization. This was a fist fight in the street for nickels this time. And the fact we actually had this funded, absolute endorsement to help Governor Ferguson, absolutely on this. But more to the point, Senator Mark Elias, the chairman of the Transportation Committee, bought off on this. Senator Curtis King, the past chair and current ranking member of the Transportation Committee, all of us sitting in a room together trying to put together nickels and dimes to make a budget come out on this, and we actually got full funding on this. That's this side of impossible. It's amazing this has happened. So this is really today a message of gratitude, a message of thanks to the House, the Senate, everybody that's tried to put this together and make this happen so long. And just in context a little bit, everybody's painfully aware this is Spokane. This is not Puget Sound area. And if we have a stutter in funding here, certain contractors aren't from around here. It might take us years to get them back in cycle again to make something like this happen. And there's an absolute painful awareness that this is not only necessary, but this is a prudent use of resources to get this done as we speak. So I just want to say I'm really tickled to be here at the groundbreaking for the final leg of this journey here, and thank you all for having me here.
Thank you, Senator Holy. The North Spokane Project has been in motion within Spokane County and the city of Spokane for several years now, and construction continues to shape the future of Spokane. I often say it takes a village, and in this case, the village is very large, evolving over time, yet always steadfast in commitment to this project. And today, I want to give special recognition to one of our longest-standing partners, the city of Spokane, represented by Mayor Lisa Brown. Mayor Lisa Brown, would you stand? Additionally, Spokane County and its commissioners, Commissioner French, Commissioner Waldriff, and Commissioner Josh Kearns, who isn't present today. They have all played an essential role in bringing this. Oh, he's there? Sorry, I didn't see you. How you doing, Commissioner? And Jordan, Commissioner Jordan. Yes, thanks. They all have played an essential role in bringing this vision to life. Please join me in showing appreciation for our extended village. As we approach the final stages of construction, new possibilities are on the horizon. Opportunities for economic growth, for strengthening relationships, and for reimagining Division Street in a way that reflects local identity, including a dedicated bus rapid transit line. This corridor will reconnect communities, enhance multimodal access, and ensure that Spokane continues to evolve in ways that serve the needs and aspirations of its residents. Now, let's welcome back to the podium Governor Ferguson as he provides closing remarks. And after the governor, we will invite the media to ask any questions that they may have of our distinguished guests. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Really, I'll be super brief just to wrap up. One is, you know this, right? But this is really a game changer for this region. That's number one. Number two, I do want to highlight what you mentioned, Senator Holy, which was you talked about scarce dollars and a lot of competition for projects all across the state. And just giving you a perspective as a governor, you know, I see that list of projects, and trust me, there's a community like this in different communities all across the state who really want to see those transportation dollars going to their project that is deeply meaningful to them and deeply impactful to them. And so, you know, it is a credit to this community that this final piece of the budget is in there, that $250 million. And I think that message came through loud and clear to individuals like me when I was campaigning for governor. That's why I promised, hey, if I'm governor, this is a top priority. We're getting the budget. But it's really credit to everybody here and here who really made this project a priority and stuck with it year after year after year. So a big successful day on the step to completion, and just really appreciate everybody's help on this. And I think with that, we know we had a lot of folks from the local press here, so we want to give them a chance to ask a few questions. I'm going to invite friends who are here to maybe help out answering questions as well if appropriate. So we'll just take a few questions if folks have them. Yeah, we'll go here and then over here. Go for it. And I'll repeat the question, so just so folks can hear it. Go for it.
There is perhaps a misconception that infrastructure projects over Western Washington get more attention or maybe more timely attention than projects in Eastern Washington. Can you talk about whether you take infrastructure projects here as seriously as you do in the West, and how do you plan to prove that to your constituents?
Sure. So the question goes to the relative funding, I think, of projects on the west side of the mountains versus the east side of the mountains, and how I view that and how important it is to get funding for projects like this over here. I guess what I would say is I'm a believer in actual facts, right? Where do the dollars go? That is something you can track. And I think, as Senator Holy said, there were scarce dollars. We've got some real budget challenges as a state with our transportation funds. And so the fact that this project made it to the top of that very short list with the completed funding to get all the funding done for the final 3 stages, I think is the evidence that that is a priority for me. Look, when I ran for governor, I went to all 39 counties. There's a benefit to doing that. You hear from folks all across the state about what their priorities are. And I knew this already from living in Spokane, from coming here as an attorney general, but also in running for governor, how important this project is and what it means for this community. And so that's why it was a priority for me. And these folks made my job easier, right? When I was going to the folks writing the budget, when I said, hey, this is the priority, when I talked to Julie and said, hey, Julie, this is a priority for me to get this in the budget, I was certainly not alone. We had a lot of folks here who've been on the ground for a long time. So what I encourage folks to do is look at the budget. The fact that we're here today celebrating this is evidence that this is a priority and making sure we balance it out across the state. They are not easy decisions, but that's why I think this was so important. Thanks for that. Do you have a question?
You bet. As you continue with bite-sized projects of this project, as you get into the busier areas, I know many neighborhoods have been impacted by this. What is your plan for navigating
So the question goes, and I'll see if others want to address this. The question goes to, hey, as we move forward, connecting, as we go forward, connecting communities, connecting issues as we go forward. Invite others who want to speak about that. Anyone want to take that first? Are you going first? Yep.
As shared previously, community really is at the heart of the work that we do, and we spend a lot of time working with communities and the city of Spokane, who serves on our core team. And so in the development of our plans and our construction contracts, we're mindful of maintaining access as we can throughout the construction project, and then continuous ongoing notification. I was remiss in mentioning Max Cooney Construction, who is the contractor for this project. Our contractors know that we expect that they are in continuous engagement with our communities as they construct in and around their neighborhoods.
Go for it, Marcus. Yeah, let me get it right here.
A couple things. First, working with the city in this last budget, we included $300,000 for an environmental justice impact study. I think moreover, though, there were communities that were historically impacted through the initial I-90 cut through. I think it's critical that we honor some legislation that was passed looking at surplus land, making sure that's going to things like housing and parks. And I think there's a broad community commitment to ensure that comes, and in a way that's not walked back from any conversations that is really in the spirit of the community that was historically impacted in ways that we need to look to do right by now.
The only thing I'll add to all that is, those are conversations that go directly to me. So I get phone calls from Marcus about the project, and he communicates very clearly to me about that. And I communicate that. This morning I had a conversation with my chief of staff about certain aspects of the project to make sure we're working with the department to make sure we're doing it the right way. So I'm trying to communicate as governor that the leadership is at my end, my chief of staff, leadership who's here today, to make sure that those details that are extremely important on a big mega project, right, that is important to get those details as right as we possibly can, and that's why I appreciate the input from the folks you're seeing here as well. Any other questions we have today? If not, one more. Oh, let's do one more. Yeah, go for it.
Hi, my name is Eric Lowe. I'm with Spokane Reimagine. My question is, it was mentioned that this will open up more land for development up north. How does residential land development north of the county or in the north of the county reduce vehicle miles traveled?
Does anybody want to take on that question? Go for it.
Sure. Yeah, so as you open up and build more houses up north, it has more congestion and traffic. And just as the other day, I was just heading through Millwood, and it took me 20 minutes to get through Millwood because of the improvements we did on Bigelow Gulch. All of a sudden, that made that a more desirable route. So as we want to build more houses up north, we need a way for folks to be able to get mass transit and vehicle miles traveled down to get to some of these locations downtown. So it'll help open up the Division Street mass transit area, and it'd be able to allow us to be able to get those folks moving faster to their jobs instead of sitting in traffic on city streets at lights.
So just a final thought, this is a big day. There are, of course, challenges ahead. The impact of tariffs, that's going to have an impact on us. We got to make sure we're minding this every single day. Make sure we got the workforce to get this job done. Our labor partners are critical to get this done. So there's going to be challenges ahead, right? That's the way these things are. But I think the reason why we're all here with all of you is to communicate this is a top priority. We've got the funding. We're going to make sure we're handling the details that's going forward and make sure we're monitoring what's going on. that could impact that. But the goal is 2030. That's the goal. We're driving towards that. And just one more big round of applause for everybody who's making this day possible. We appreciate all your work. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Hey.